welcome back to another video installment. Yes, it's still snowing outside and freezing cold, so we're going to do another one of these, just prep for your year. Before we get started, make sure that you subscribe, hit the bell icon below, and like this video. We had a handful of comments last week. Make sure you comment this week on how you're liking everything, what you want to see in the future. We'll be more than happy to put some videos out. Once things warm up a little bit, we had single-digit days here in Pennsylvania last week. Hopefully we're going to see some 40s, and we'll get an update on the water or two here soon, and some more things outside. So rather than you looking at my beautiful face sitting here, we'll have some more enjoyable videos. But today, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about not only prepping for the season like we talked about last week, but how to find new water and just some resources that are out there to help you out. That if you're, a creature of habit, you go to the same 3, 4, 5, 6 streams throughout a year. There's some ways to be able to do a little bit of research in your off season to be able to find some other water. So one of the first things you need to do is, get out of your comfort zone. So a handful of resources. The internet is absolutely fantastic. So go ahead and hop onto Facebook groups. There's a lot of them out there. Different forum sites. One of my favorites that I started out early on in my fly fishing career, being in Pennsylvania, was paflyfish.com. Just a great forum with a lot of good guys and women on there as well. They just answer questions, even go fishing with you, show you some other places. So there's a lot of great resources there. And then you also have resources like different books out there. So this is a book that came out, trout streams out in Pennsylvania, mainly trout. They also talk about steelhead, smallmouth bass, muskie. But this is a great book. So look for state-specific books like this that can get you into not necessarily the hidden streams out there, but the popular streams in each region. So that one goes drainages throughout the whole state of Pennsylvania, and get you information on hatches, locations, in terms of stocked water, wild trout water, even some special regulations like we have here in fly fishing only or artificial woods only. So a lot of great resources out there. One of the other big resources online for me is the state website. So I'll put a couple links in the bottom below here for what Pennsylvania looks like, where we are. But when you look at your state website, there's a handful of different resources out there that you can go check out to look for new water. So once you advance your horizon, you go fish new water, it makes you a better fisherman, whether it's just different tactics or different fish species. There's a lot of great information. Most people equate fly fishing to trout, which is always a lot of great information in almost any state that you're out there in, but you can get into great warm water species. Locally here, in the north of Pittsburgh region, the trout isn't fantastic, but we've got hybrid stripers in the local rivers, smallmouth, largemouth, carp, muskie, pike. There's even some pickerel around here as well. So there's lots of great opportunities. Don't forget about your panfish, your bluegill, crappie, sunfish, things like that. So hop on the website for your state. So Pennsylvania's, I believe, is fish.state.pa.us. I believe most other states are very similar in that. So I'll point you in the direction of a handful of places on there. One of the first things, if you're looking for trout, is the trout stocking list. So here we've got a handful of places. Pennsylvania is a great state for wild trout, but there's a lot of places, especially around your major cities, that just don't hold a lot of wild trout or any trout. So you want to look at your stocking list to be able to figure out where they are. Those are great, not just what streams, but particular sections in those streams and what species of fish that are there, or if there's any special regulations like fly fishing only, artificial lures only. So that's a great place to start. Also on our state list is other species. So we've got muskie stockings, we've got catfish, we've got stripers and other species as well that you can target and figure out when they're getting stocked. And not necessarily after they get stocked, but even throughout the year, just depending on the species, what you want to target. In terms of trout, since most fly fishermen are going after them, not only look at the stocking list, but look at your wild trout list. So here in our state, there's actually 2 different lists for that. The first one is the highest classification. We call them Class A's here, which is they take a stream survey of the water, figure out how many trout per mile in that designated stream or river, and then if it hits so much of a population, then they classify them as Class A. So it'll be Class A wild brown trout or Class A brook trout. Pennsylvania has a ton of streams. It's actually, I believe, the second most stream miles next to the state of Alaska. But when you look around, ours has an Excel spreadsheet by county of what stream it's in, the GPS coordinates of the upper and lower stretches, what percentage is private or public land access. Each state is different on stuff like that. What did I say? Species. And then it'll also talk about tributaries of there that might have other fish as well. So there's a lot of great information on there. So Class A is the highest biomass of wild trout here in our state. So we have a listing of that county by county, but we also have streams with natural reproduction. So that's when they survey a stream, if you have more than 1 year class of fish. So you have a first year fish and a third year fish. As long as they have 2 year classes of fish, it'll go on that listing. That Excel spreadsheet in our state is hundreds and hundreds of streams. It's unbelievable how many are there. More than a lifetime worth of streams. So you can go on there and say, you know what, I fished this drainage over here, but I haven't fished that tributary, so that's a good place to go. Or there's not too many wild rainbow streams out here, but I can find a Class A rainbow stream 2 hours north of me. So you know, you can kind of prep that. One thing that I didn't bring for the video, which I usually keep on me in my car at home, is an atlas. So yes, it's old school, but it is a fantastic resource. So the DeLorme Atlas is state by state. It goes through topography, roads, county roads, dirt roads, and then all the streams are usually listed. They've changed it here and there over the years, but your atlas is about this big. I believe our state's is 70 pages long, so it's a very detailed resource. Whether you get lost in the mountains and don't have any internet to be able to get your GPS out of there, or you can highlight streams like I do, put parking areas in, say, hey, this section fished better than this section, so that you can go year in and year out and kind of touch different places in your state and fish them and be able to know how to get back to them. So dropping pins on your GPS or on your phone is great, but sometimes a good old-fashioned map goes a long way. So when you're prepping for your season, go ahead and challenge yourself, just like I talked last week about hatches and stuff, adding something new every year. Do that this year. Check a new species off your list. One of the species for me this year, I've got a place I'm going to try to get some pike and pickerel out of. I've got a buddy of mine that we might try to do some musky fishing this year, so trying to hit some toothed critters. I'd also like to hit some more carp on dry flies. So prep for your season, set some goals. It's always a good idea to say, you know what, I've never done this before, let's try to do that. Let's try to get a wild brown trout every 20 inches, for instance. And to do that, you might have to hit a different stream or use a different technique rather than throwing dries or nets. You might have to throw big streamers to get into something like that. Another big thing this year, depending on your region, is the cicada hatch or emergence. So every 17 years, we have a different brood that comes out. Brood X that's coming out this year is covering multiple states. And when they come out by the thousands in certain areas, and fish go crazy of all species. So that's something that you might be able to prep for in the upcoming season. So as I conclude this, I just sat here and talked to a camera, but to you guys for a good while here, look at your resources. I'm going to link a couple things in our state. You can kind of use that as a reference to look in your state, depending on where you are, and try to find some extra places to go to this year and prep for, hey, I want to go here, or I asked online and I really want to hit the Hendrickson hatch this year. Where can I find that? Ask some questions out there and try to hit something new this year. And doing your prep work now when it's bitter cold outside and the water's frozen, be prepared so that you have a much better and enjoyable season this coming year rather than doing the monotonous same old things each and every year. Challenge yourself to do something new. So I'll put some links down below on some of our stuff here in the state. Make sure you like and subscribe to our channel. And then we've got some more awesome videos coming up here soon. Actually going to incorporate here in the next couple months some local people doing some giveaways and events like that, and putting them on our channel. And we've got some new gear coming in soon. We actually just got approved to sell DJI drones and action cameras here in the shop. So we'll be providing that here physically. If any of you guys are interested in gear like that, you can let us know. We can talk to you about some of those products and even provide some of them for you if you're interested. So we'll be having some drone footage in, some other action cam footage to give some different perspectives and kind of up our game here on this channel. And then we'll do things like this periodically as well. If you have any questions, go ahead, throw them down below. We'll be more than happy to answer them and also get some suggestions for future videos. But thank you guys again for spending the last 10 minutes or so to listen to me talk. We hope you guys have enjoyed the channel so far. We're going to continue to put out videos each and every week, so make sure you subscribe and you know that when the next video is going to hit. Thank you guys again, and have a great day.